Hello everybody, Treno here, and today we are going to take a quick look at the Turan 3, which is the best Hungarian medium tank that is on the Hungarian subtree at the moment. So basically at the moment it goes Chaba, Turan 1, Zrini 2, Turan 3 at 3.7, and then you get to the Soviet equipment. So there is a big gap between the Turan 3 and the Turas 1, maybe the TARS could go there. That is a vehicle that has been very well requested at the moment. And unfortunately, I can't take the Turan 3 for a test drive because unfortunately I haven't got that far on the Italian tech tree and I've been having basically loads of issues with my internet at the moment, so I haven't been able to play any games to actually get further along. It should also be pointed out that in the dev server announcement forum page, they do say that the Turan 3 model has some inaccuracies. They don't say what the inaccuracies are, but we're going to just have to bear that in mind when we look at it. And so, as you can see, it's got a much better gun than on the other Turan. That had a 40mm gun. This has a 75mm gun, the same one as used on the Zrini 1. So if we look at the ammunition, it fires APC-BC shells, so you've got a penetration of 130mm at 500 meters, high explosive 10mm all around, or a heat shell with 80mm. So basically you get your very best shell from the very beginning. There's not really much point in unlocking that heat shell. I mean, 80mm, you're basically going to have to be firing thousands of meters before that actually becomes better than your stock APC-BC shell. And of course it does come with explosive filler, so 28.9 grams of explosive filler. You've got an 8mm coaxial machine gun over here, and it's got a reload rate of 7.6 seconds. And it's got a zoom of 1.9 to 3.5, a vertical targeting speed of 2.2 degrees a second, and a horizontal targeting of 8.9 degrees. Now, like with the original Turan 1, it's got a 230 horsepower engine, and unfortunately the transmission is slightly different. So I don't know if this has a different transmission or if one of the transmissions has been added wrong. Maybe the Turan 1 isn't supposed to have 6 gears forward, 6 gears back. Maybe it's meant to be like the Turan 3, or maybe the Turan 3 is meant to be like the Turan 1. So basically, this only goes 7.5 miles per hour backwards, unlike the Turan 1, which can do its top speed forwards and backwards. Same with the Zrini 2. And if we look at the armour, well, you can definitely see there is a very distinctive target for enemies. And this is a bit of a mixed bag because this is really well angled to this bit. It's only 25mm thick, but you've got an effective thickness of between about 95 and 100mm. This bit up here is only about 50mm, though again, if you hit to the sides here, effective thickness of about 90mm. And while in theory that should be where the commander is actually where the optics is. So potentially you're just going to hit the optics anyway and not do much damage. But if a shell does get in there, it's going to explode and, pepper the entire turret with fragments, and it's not going to be very good. The actual turret front itself is 75mm. The mantlet seems to be a bit different. It says 6mm here. I suspect it's a little bit different. Maybe we've got 13mm there, so that's going to be a bit of a weak point if it's only 13 plus 6mm. And of course you've got a weak spot where the machine gun is, but because of volumetric armor that may not actually be a weak spot. Similar story down here with the bow machine gun. Potentially a weak spot, but potentially not because of the machine guns in the way. Although you have got this 25mm thick driver's port, which is definitely a weak spot. The whole front is 75mm, 35mm for this bit. It is angled, but it's still only an effective thickness of 38mm. And then here at the lower whole front, it is only 44mm. And there's no transmission to block that shot, so if a shell gets there, it's going to wipe out your driver and machine gunner. And again, like with the other tanks we've looked at, it's got this wire mesh structural steel stuff. But that's only 8mm and is more for dealing with heat shells. The actual sides are about 25mm for the hull, 35 for the turret. Some bits are 25 or 50 depending on where you look. And from the rear, it's 35mm on the hull and about 25 for the rear of the turret. And of course you do have these weak spots here where the ammunition is left right at the front of the turret. So if a shell gets in through your turret, that's going to quickly set them off. And of course, you have a crew of 5. So you've got your machine gunner and driver in the hull, and then you've got gunner, commander, and loader in the turret. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't take this out for a test drive at the moment. Perhaps if my internet starts working a bit better, I might be able to actually, get a few games in and re-look at this. But for the moment, this is the best I can do with it. And yeah, this looks to be a really good Hungarian tank. So it's 3.7, which is actually lower than the Serini 1. I mean, the Serini 1 must be higher because of its low profile, whereas, of course, the Turan 3 is not exactly hard to miss with that giant turret. But I think this will do a very good job against enemy vehicles. I mean, in the Italian tech tree, it's contemporary with the Stug, the M4A4, M24. It's already better than basically every Italian tank. The only one that's near to it is the P40. So, yeah, this is a very good addition. I'm going to be honest, this is the one I've been looking forward to the most. Like I say, there is a gap here. The TARS could go there. Whether Gaijin will do that, we'll have to see in the future. But, yeah, you could put the TARS there. And then after the Turan, of course, you do get to the Soviet stuff, which I'm less interested in. But yeah, definitely looking forward to unlocking the Turan 3. Anyway, just a quick video for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.